We's gone and hit the play button, or in my case, the record button. Welcome, Supreme Commanders of the Forged Alliance Forever variety. Today's Sunday is set on special 4 versus 4, 1453 rated. Now, there's going to be some people saying, hang on, I just realised I'm already got the game on. You've completely screwed it up. You were supposed to have the intro page on. Let's see if we can put that on. You know why? Because not only that, but we've hit the big time. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We have appeared front and centre on the Forged Alliance Forever client. How is that? I've even gone and put a circle around it. I've printed it off. I put it on my wall. Nice big oak frame round the side of it. We appear front page. So forward, excited about that. We'll see if it makes any difference at all. Also, this channel has broken through the 100 subscriber mark, so that's always nice. You know, it's I've created several channels on YouTube. It's a lot of fun to grow channels. I do enjoy it because every time you start a new channel, you can sort of take little lessons that you learned from before, bits of experience, as well as have a little bit of fun. You know, try something new, try something a bit different, see if it works, see if it doesn't, and the thing is, I really like Forged Alliance Forever as a game, so even though as an economical ecosystem, it's not going to be a channel that ever makes me any money, or if it does, it maybe buy a cup of coffee once in a while. It is a lot of fun to do, and of course, when you're casting on YouTube or doing any sort of video creation or any job just generally, you have to enjoy it, right? If you don't enjoy it, a job... a game that you once loved quickly becomes a boring job and a bore. And there are so many YouTubers that's happened to. And it's a shame because it kills the thing that they love, but they do get a sponsorship. So is it worth it at the end of the day? I don't know. Would you kill the thing that you loved in order to make a living that I guess you could have made a living another way and still had the thing that you loved? I don't know. I'm getting right off the topic. So let's come on over. Hit the intro. Hit the intro sequence button. This was the ding that people were waiting for. I've already lost half of them. Thinking, I thought this was a Forged Alliance thing, and he's talking about making YouTube videos and other boring stuff I'm not interested in. Well, let's introduce today's players then. Teams on the screen there. We'll take a closer look at them in a minute. As we said, it's a 4 versus 4 Setons. I'm casting this live on the 12th of February 2023. The game also went down the 12th of February 2023, although I'm not live casting a live game. The game went down a couple of hours ago, and so let's go and activate teleportation devices and jump on in. By the way, guys, going to try something a teeny tiny bit different today, at risk of getting a copyright strike, but I'm going to try it. If we get one, well, I know not to do it again. And that is, I have put on the mod that has the original Total Annihilation music soundtrack to this game. And so there's going to be 2 tests. Number 1, do I get a strike for it? And if not, number 2, how does the music go with the cast? Now, if people don't like it, just let us know. If it's too loud, too quiet, you want more, let us know again. And also, still looking for a single noob game to cast. So if you've got any noob games that are decent, you know, that are not just what would you call them, like a turtle fest, where 2 teams draw a line of point defense, sit behind it, turtle up, and then, you know, fire a nuke or whatever. I'm looking for one. People are asking to see one. I haven't seen one. I'm asking if you know of one, please comment in the comments section with the replay ID, and I promise I will get back to you. My channel is still small enough that I have the luxury to respond to each and every suggestion that I get. All right, with all of that done, somebody says, just get on with it. All right, I hear you. I'd be saying the same. All right. Let's take a look then at our teams. We know the map, so we don't need to introduce that one. Let's start, just because Team 1's in the top. I like to start lower left, but, you know, Team 1's up at the top, and I'm going to get confused if I start with Team 2. We'll start in the rear with the gear. You know how I like that position. It's Bramall. Seraphim 1900 rated, and he's going first land. He's also the highest rated player, not only for Team 1, but in the game overall. Over to the south side then for Team 1 on the rock or the cliff position. It's Luke Moss, 1100 rated Cybran, going first land as well. To see if he can make that position pay. Front slot then for Team 1, it's Desert Wolf, and he's Aeon going front first land. Of course, those of you that have heard me say before, my favourite position in the game, front on Setons. And then last but not least for Team 1, I can only assume is Carlitos, spelt Carl and then the numbers. I'm guessing the 1 is the I, the 7 is the T, the O is, well, the 0 is the O, and the 5 or the S, or maybe even is an S. Either way, I'm going to call him Carl or Carlitos. This guy used to play Setons in my day. I can't tell you how many Setons games I must have played with this guy, but if I were to guess 100 games, I would probably still be nowhere near enough. Alright, over then to the south side. I don't like the way the middle click mouse drag doesn't quite work well for me. It drags nicely, but then sometimes when I let go, the screen sort of flicks. Apologies for when that happens. Alright, over to Team 2. In the south, it's Rusos, 1800 rated Aeon. He's going to be the air player for the southern team. Going first land, grabbing his Hydro there with his commander. Continuing around clockwise, the rock position, and just going to slow something down because I just want to point something out here. Microchip has gotten a scout. We're minute 2 and 12 seconds, and he's got a scout over here. And if we take a look at what his team can see, that scout has already passed over beach, rear, and rock, and we're minute 2 and some seconds. Microchip, I don't think I've ever seen anyone in the entire history of Forged Alliance get a scout on the other side of the map inside 2 minutes on a 20 by 20, and then also have the scout move on to yet a third slot. New record set there. Somebody, you know, I'll be happy to be proven wrong on that, but that is the fastest scout I've ever seen ever in all history. Back to the observer. And so, yeah, Microchip, first air, the 1100 rated Cybran player, you know, busting records. Looking at how much he is spending on power generation here. He has not yet got the Hydro, and he's only got 2 of the 4. Can he afford to pull this off? Well, there's the answer. Yes, he can. And that's because, cheeky as he is, exploiting the cliff position, he has sent an NG on manual reclaim, grabbing all of these rocks. And he's shown just how effective that can be. And so, yeah, Microchip clearly played this position before and clearly knows what he's doing on that position. And moving on then to the forward position, it's Garing in white, also Cybran going front. If you went Cybran against me on front, yeah, don't care who you were, you'd already lost. So we'll see if that's the case today. A 1500 rated, which, you know, could wipe the floor. A 1500 rated could, well, I don't know. I was about 1500 rated across the board, let's say. But when it came front on Setons, I was over 2000 rated on just that one position. But, you know, that's why there's the people that only played Setons, their ratings was always way overinflated versus, you know, people that played all maps. And I don't know why that was, but it was as if the Setons Clutch, this map was like a completely separate game to all the other maps on Forged Alliance. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. I remember once we were playing and all the top players just suddenly came in, and I can't remember who they were at the time, but it was like Ridley, Mephistophile, I don't know. There was a whole bunch, and all of a sudden it was like, you know, there we were facing the top Forged Alliance players, you know, and these were like 1 versus 1 ladder, and it was like, well, we got a game on. And I reckon they thought, oh, we'll show these Setons nubs what playing's really like. And we were thinking, well, they play very good individually, but do they know how to play as a team? And within 15 minutes, they'd quit. We'd wipe the floor with them because It was just, yeah, they were the best Forge Alliance players that there are, but they didn't know how to play on this map. And, you know, we knew the meta and we steamrolled them, and that was that. And last but not least then, he's talking about everything except the game at hand. It's JT for Team 2 on beach. UEF, nice to see a UEF player, you know, and, you know, I'm not calling Guile. I loved UEF. It was my faction of choice. And if you put me with UEF on front, and there was about 2 players that on a good day could beat me, providing they went either UEF or Seraphine. Nobody else on any other faction ever had a chance. That said, to the game at hand, it's a 2-on-2 in the middle. We've got the ACUs, Blackman away, and again, this meta that I've said before was never a thing in my day. Beach player comes up to say hello, and it looks like Garing there, potentially with the lowest hit points, down to below 4,000. Desert Wolf, the next lowest, is still at 5.5. The 2 purple players from Team 1, the north side, and it looks like they're trying to bully Garing off the bridge, and they are going to get him. He's in the drink with 2,200, and that makes it a 2 versus 1 for a little whiles in the middle. But JT on basically full health here. 9,000, but he is getting attacked by multiple players. Garing comes back out the drink, hugely important. Forces Carl here, or Carlitos, to have something else to think about. But now JT, you know, he was full health. He's still just above 50, but he's now eating fire from artillery units as well, and he looks like he's going to primary those versus the commander. But if he continues to push back, Desert Wolf making really good use of his Auroras here, microing them, keeping them out of range of JT's gun. The only Tech 1 tank that can outrange the commander before the commander gets his gun. And yeah, very, very nice micro there from Desert Wolf. And now upgrading to the gun. Minute 6 and some seconds. Garing, though, looking into a spot of bother. 2.3, 2.2. Does have a couple of Mantis. Problem is, if he gets an overcharge, if Carlitos continues to press and overcharges, Garing could be dead. And Desert Wolf moving Auroras in now. This could be very, very dangerous for Garing. Does he even know that they're coming? Well, he maybe sees 1 or 2 of them. They've got no intel. And so this commander... Oh, that was close. That was close. Let's go back to full speed then. We'll have a quick look at what else is going on. Well, Rock Microchip there gets his side island. Rock for Team 1, Luke Moss gets his side island. We've got patrols out from JT. This is clearly a player that's been dropped before along the cliff side here, and is paranoid of it happening again and has got numerous scouts and interceptors patrolling that region to ensure that nobody ever thinks about doing it again. I can attest to that. If you lose this expansion, it can be quite painful because it's quite a ways to come over from base, and usually your commander's way out of position, and you know it's not a nice thing to have happen. And it looks like JT shares that opinion. And yeah, has taken preventative measures is the only thing I can come up with. And now look at this. We've got a drop over here from Microchip. Oh, looks like he maybe changed his mind. He's umming and ahhing about it. What's he going to do? Well, he's got 6 pieces of Serati. He's got a large air wing escorting him in. JT, Garing... Desert Wolf, who looks like he's got the gun and the intel suite. Is that the range? I'm not good enough with my eye. That is the range. Oh, not the best position for Garing to upgrade when you've got a Aeon commander with the gun. I like what he's doing. He's throwing his units away, trying to prevent losing his upgrade so far. Here's the artillery drop. Looks like he's got 3 pieces left. I don't think he's got enough to even write this Tech 2 off. It's going to be close. Look at this. Carlitos with an engineer on repair duty. Is he going to... Oh, he does lose it with the last artillery shell, despite Carlitos' best efforts. And Garing was forced to cancel. Throwing more units away, and at this moment in time, Desert Wolf looking comfortably in control of the central bridge. Team 2 in a spot of bother. Not enough units. Are trying to throw a wall further back with engineers, which is a nice call. Yeah, you're not going to be able to prevent that ACU from shooting, but you are going to prevent just a massive run by on Tech 1 units. Garing with no choice but to just run away. 2,400 hit points. 2.2. The reason he can't slow up or micro is because he's going to run into Desert Wolf, who's got the gun, and Desert Wolf elects not to pursue, potentially due to a lack of intel.
Commander under attack.
No lack of intel, of course. He's got the intel upgrade. Man, is that a massive buff. This was never a thing before. That visual upgrade is massive there from Desert Wolf. So early on in the game as well. I think it was about 7 or 8 minutes he got that. Now that, together with the range upgrade, is a real nice thing to see. Desert Wolf now jumping in the drink over on the north side, which is of course hugely important, helping out his beach player, which is naturally going to be the weakest slot on your team because he's got the fewest mass points versus the player who's got the most mass points. That being said, Carlitos being a 1400 versus an 1100 rated. We'll see. I just realized the music is ever so slightly... where are we here? A little bit more. There we go. Over on the other side then, JT, the 14 versus the 1100 Cliff. So I like this. They've put the stronger player on the weakest slot versus the weaker player on what is arguably the strongest slot. So this is a very balanced game. We've got pings going down. JT 3,400. I wonder what those pings were due to. And now look at this. Desert Wolf going on to both sides. And so he's helping out the slot with the fewest mass points, but he's also helping out the slot who's the weaker player. And so it's a nice combo there. Carlitos now has the gun. Blackman as he goes. And is 3/4 of a way onto his first rank of vet. And yeah, look at this. Desert Wolf just using and abusing the range there of the Aeon Commander. Halfway to a sniper com. Look at his head twisting as he goes. And he's now overcharging this point defense wall. And that will have bought Garing a little bit of time. And I think it's bought him enough. Yeah, they probably got little, if no, kills. Now it all hangs off. Can he get... No, don't advance, don't advance. You can't advance towards commanders. You've got to pull these point defense behind you. If anything, you got to use your Tech 1 spam here to prevent the ACU from getting overcharges on either the point defense or, even more importantly, these Tech 2 engineers. You've got to throw your units up towards now. Oh, apologies. And it looks like JT got sniped off. And looking at here, I don't know if that was torpedo bombers or down to the Navy. I'm going to suspect Navy because torpedo bombers do have some subs though. Difficult to tell. Apologies on missing that one. Was not expecting that ACU to get sniped off in the drink there. We've still got subs coming down from Desert Wolf, so it's arguable that it's arguably possible Desert Wolf, the front player there, picked him off with a sub snipe. And Carlitos getting pinged, no doubt from his from his team saying come back now. And looks like Carlitos says, yeah, just let me grab the radar and I'll be on my way. Doesn't want to risk it. And so at that minute 13, it's 4 versus 3. 4 players for team 1, 2 players for team 2. And yeah, JT, the 1400. So, you know, that right around on the average mark then for this game. It is a 1450 rated per team. So somewhere it said 1453. So it depends exactly where you look. And, you know, are you looking on the FAF replay menu? Are you in game? Everybody always has a slightly different rating and percentile. Average AI reckons here 93%. If you look elsewhere, it was either 92 or 94%. I forget which way round now. Garing, though, who was looking a little shaky, having lost his ally and getting both commanders pushing through, looking a little stronger than things were just a minute ago. Looks like Team 1 elects, no, things are a little dicey at minute 14. We can't push all the way through. Of course, you're truly used to push all the way through and set up shop on the opposing side. Rushing that Tech 3 UEF command. It was easy. As long as you could get to Tech 2, the commander could put down Tech 1, you know, the land factories very quickly, and those land factories could spit out 4 or 5 engineers relatively quickly, and by that time, 3 or 4 land factories, all of which just producing Tech 1, a Tech 2 commander can be Tech 3 in no time, and that will go for any race. And then what came next was the tactical missile launcher. And then all of these 3 were in. Oh, I'm telling you, players used to hate me. They used to hate me for doing that. And they used to focus on me. But back to the game at hand. Now look at this. Microchip going all out on the Tech 1 frigate spam. And that is giving Carlitos something to think about. But Desert Wolf thinks, you know what, mate? If you're going to go frigate, I'll go sub. And my subs will eat your frigates all day long. Twice on Sunday, and because it is a Sunday, they're going to eat you twice over. And it looks like Microchip recognizes that and thinks, yeah, shit, I've got a problem. I'm going to have to pull back. So what's his response? Well, his ally's got a Tech 3 Strat bomber. I'm not sure that's the answer. We'll have to see. Carlitos is coming back to base. Quick glance over on the south side. We've got some ASF action here. Looks like the first engagement. Russos versus Bramall. Looks like both players are electing to withdraw. Looks like Bramall with slightly more numbers there. And what's it? Oh, because Russos has pumped out 2 strats. We've got a strat over here. We've got a strat over here belonging to Russo. Let's see, how's that going to work? He's got scouts everywhere. So in theory, has he queued these attacks up? Well, not really. He's got one attack per strat. In it goes. Very nice pickup there. A mass point that's capped off with a whole bunch of NGs. This guy gets kills as well. Slow down time just a tad because I want to keep track on this. Ping's going down for this one. Out comes the second bomb. Picks off a Tech 2 that was on its way to Tech 3. That's huge there. And looks like that's going to be the last kill. 31 kills there from Russos. That strat bomb, I think, certainly paid for itself, especially when you consider it picked up a Tech 2 that was going towards Tech 3 capped off, as well as the other capped off that had the engineers. And so here's the other strat from Russo. 3 kills so far. Oh, exploits the ground attack there. Gets a power gen and a mass point. I guess he's unlucky he didn't pick off the second P-gen. Tech 2 swings back around. Ping's not yet going down. And Russo, being a right team player here, is helping his allies by picking off the opposing side's economy. Notice he didn't go for the economy of his direct opponent, Bramall. Often you would see players who were doing something like this go after their... Look at all the economies picked off belonging here to Lutmos. He's got at least 4 mass points that are missing, as well as the power, as well as the Tech 2 over here. And Russo, look at this. He's got Tech 3 torpedo bombers out as well. Multiple. This is incredible team play at risk of handing over air control to the opponent. He's had 2 strategic bombers and 2 Tech 3 torpedo bombers. And that is going to be of massive help. He loses one of them eventually. And this one's still over here, but it looks like it's going to go down potentially to Murmus, who puts out a cruiser. Bomber hangs around just a little bit. Oh, he's got 1,000 hit points left with 30 kills. These are high-value targets. Finally, the ping goes down. I think Luke Moss could have asked that ping a little while ago. And continuing to attack. Did Bramall get a fix on it? No, he didn't. He's got a move command. He's looking. He sees it now. And Bramall is moving to intercept. But I think he's going to get at least one more bomb off. And look. Yeah, he's ground fired in the middle. And so, again, sign of a great player is not directly attacking the structure, but attacking the mid spot in between. The 1800 rated picks off both of them. Very nice. Shocker with 44, Vet 3. And I think that is going to be it. The Shocker in for a little shock of his own there. Going down. Bramall picks that up. Yeah, Luke Moss, I think you could have had a ping down a little earlier for that. I don't see any reason why Bramall could not have taken that out a little sooner. Had he have been aware of it. Back to full pace then. Very, very nice aggressive air there from Russo's. 10 points to you, sir, the 1800 rated. And he is facing off the 1900 rated. And so to risk 4 Tech 3 bomber-capable aircraft inside 18 minutes versus an opponent that's higher rated than you that is going pure ASF is very dicey, especially then when you didn't go for his eco at all. You went for everybody else's except his. And so, you know, fantastic team play. You know, I absolutely love players that play as a team. That, to me, they're worth, you know, as we've said before, one team is 10 times better than 4 players that are playing individually. It just is what it is. And, you know, go back to what I was saying at the start, when one team knocked out 4 of the best Forge Lines players that were ever assembled. As long as they play, you know, if they were to play ladder, they could kick each one of our asses 999 games out of 100, and I'm sure even the 1000th game would have gone their way most of the time. But they just didn't know how to play as a team. And this is going very well for Luke Moss. Once again, showing spam is better than Tech in certain numbers. Sends in torpedo bombers as well to go after the higher tech units, the destroyers. And it looks like he's going to get them. That, of course, is his threat. But he's still going for it. And on the other side, well, look at this. Microchip is pushed right back, but with so many frigates. Now, this is where I'd like to see Microchip use the Shift G. He could cut off almost all of these retreating units here from Carl, and he's not doing. And if he'd pressed Shift G, selected them, moved them over, I don't know, over to about here, he would have got them. Does he have anything to deal with the sub? Well, he must do. Yeah, he does now have a destroyer, at least one. And so Microchip no longer completely impotent versus these submarines, which is nice to see. Luke Moss, though, continuing to look strong. The 1100 continues to push the 15 back. And he's going to pick off. Surely he's going to get... He gets a frigate. He needs that destroyer picked off. Come on. Oh, he does finally get it. Somebody somewhere sneezed on it and it went down. You know, that's the thing about this game. You know, even something that is on 0.1% of its health puts out 100% of the damage as it would if it was on 100%. And so it is massively important to pick off. Certainly the stronger units with high firepower, if they're very close to death, it's worth chucking stuff away. Rowan, please don't give away what you think is going to happen. To me, this is a 50-50 game at this point. In chat, it's a game, it's a live chat. Please don't. I've never ever had to ask anybody not to say anything, but that is sort of a given. Please don't give away any potentials. I don't even know. That's why I don't watch these games to the end. Boom, Stick, Juice, just wanted to say good luck with being a new Fafcast. I wish you all the luck. Thank you very much. I've been doing it for, I don't know, since around about Christmas time. I started on the Games with Brains channel, but I just mixed too many different games together, so I came over here. But thank you regardless. But back to the game at hand. JT now with the battle cruiser, and I love the UEF battle cruisers. The beam weapon, it's like the Tech 2 Serra Destroyer on steroids, but it's you know, not necessarily the best at going against these attack subs, but it is putting out some limited fire. But I don't know, it finds itself a shield boat and more protection, and now I think Luke Moss potentially in a spot of bother there. Microchip continues to push out. Garing also starting to push out, getting a little adventurous. These Opolites bit off a little more than they could chew. Going after Auroras, but the Auroras have found themselves a shield. And with that, goes down. Desert Wolf, 23 minutes. Knocks himself out an experimental, and it's a GC at that. Well, that could change the balance somewhat, because this at 23 minutes is, aside from the fact we lost JT down on the beach, is still pretty much 50-50. And I don't know. Yeah, I would not be able to call this at this point, although Garing with the Tech 3, now 2 of these battle cruisers on the front line, maybe slightly favours the southern team, at least in the south drink. Microchip, the 1100, playing so well versus the 1400, especially when you consider he had assistance from his ally. Although, look at this. Microchip's side island getting attacked. We've got whalers here and Bramall, and this is going to force either an air engage or, and it has, it's forced an air engage Russo. And look at this. Russo knows that it's a bit dicey. He detaches some of his ASF. He basically throws these ASF away to try and help his ally out there. And it looks like he missed one of the whalers. Potentially a bit of a mistake. Perhaps he'd only microed on 2 of them. At least in the drink, things going a little better for Microchip here, but he's going to need that. He's just lost a huge amount of the eco. And here's the GC now. It's getting pings. And so the South team know it's coming. I love here what Garing's doing with his tech-free navy. He's no longer going after a battle that he's already won, or at least in large part. He's bringing it back to escort the GC. And when I say escort, I mean take it on. And shedding a lot of hit points off that GC. Look at how many hit points. 74,000. 72. 69. 68. Again, incredible play there. You'd expect nothing less from a 15, but again, it's really nice. And he's continuing to press over here with his Tech 2 as well as his frigates. And at this point, South team, oh, he walked right past the Omni. Is he not going to finish off that Omni? Is somebody? There's an Omni there. That's huge for the Southern team. Hello, sweetheart. My cat's come to join. She's excited about it as well. Tech 3. And I don't believe it. Garing picked off by the GC. Minute 26. And with that, it's a 2 versus 4. Russos, the 1800, sat on, well, let's call it 2.5 bases. Oh, the GC, I thought it was going to be dead. It's still got a little bit of health. It went up against a Monkey Lord. It's now a 3-star vet, and it's picking off ion reactors. No. If you're rooting for the South team, this is not good. Ping's still going down. Yeah, you need to think about that. And looks like Russo says, well, it's the Tech 1 bomber spam. Thank goodness the microchip's been pulling more than his weight, the 1100 rated, who has managed to finally address the situation over here. He's looking to rebuild that. He's got so many naval yards, and he's now starting on Tech 3 ship that's almost ready to reach the front line. He's sending in drop ships with engineers to reclaim the mast. This guy, this 1100 rated guy, is playing like a 15. I have to say it. He's playing like a 1500 rated. He knows what he's doing. Microchip, you're going places. You ain't going to be 1100 for much longer. And here we are, all these Tech 1 bombers. Perfect response from Desert Wolf. Shields and flak, shields and flak, shields and flak. GC with 145 kills. Massive air wing from Bramall. And looks like... Oh! Russos gets a nice initial engage there, thanks to Bramall being on the case with the bombers. Tech 1 bombers continue to rain in. GC's looking for what else it can get, but I think air control has just been handed over to Russos. Russos wins it. Look at that, despite what he did earlier on, and despite all these Tech 1 bombers, GC goes down. Well, come on, he goes... No, I said it goes down. He calls his bombers away. What are you doing? Desperate pings there from his team. Hey, come back, quick, now! And it looks like Desert Wolf's just trying to get it into the drink because he doesn't want to leave the Southern team a massive gift. Well, there is your gift. GC goes down minute 28 and some seconds. Luke Moss has pushed Russo all the way back, and I think that in large part was down to the fact that A, the Navy was handed off at a critical time, Airplayer was completely tied up with that GC, and then B, we saw those Neptunes were out of position versus the rest of the Navy. And of course we've seen the ever increasing numbers of whalers here belonging to Bramall, although these are at risk now because he's lost air dominance. Tech 2 subs having a pop here at the Navy Yard, and this is where Russo is out of APM. He needs to get himself, I was going to say some torpedo launchers, but Tech 3 torpedo bombers will do. He's got a massive fleet of them there. And if did he one-shot them? He didn't split the target. Well, he's going after more naval structures here, and he's got the air. Russo looking incredibly strong. As an airplay, he's looking unstoppable. And with his ally, Microchip, who is just holding his own in the top pond, this game is wide open. It's far from finished. Ping's going down, alerting him to torp bombers here. Russos moves in, and yeah, those torpedo bombers are going to get a pass, but I don't think they're going to get a second one. And just look at this from Russo. He was pushed all the way back here a minute ago. He's now got Luke Moss ways on the run. Luke Moss retreating all the way back to his home base. But then doesn't stick around to finish the... What was that? He is now there, but Microchip paid a heavy penalty for that delay, that misclick. I'm not entirely sure what it was. And yet a second ASF engage here, major one, as we enter minute 31. And once again, comprehensive win for Russos. Bramall running away there, and with significant losses, the Southern team retain air dominance. And now what looks like dominance in the drink as well. The bridge, well, looks like is no man's land. Nobody wants to know. Nobody's going there. A few brave engineers out on reclaim duty belonging to Desert Wolf, but that's about it. I mean, they've got so much mass. If we just slow time down just a bit, let's take a look, because the action is so thick and fast on this one. Just want to focus on reclaim. Well, there you can see the hotspots. We got 33 there, 14,000 there. We got about 80,000, 100,000 just if you take a look there, and then multiple thousands in the drink. Certainly the south side has got loads. I think that's because Microchip's done such a good job at reclaiming the mass up top. You know, he's looking to... I'm starting to think about calling this guy man of the match, although we're far from over. Let's also have a look here at the kills built ratio, and we'll just sort by that right now. So right now, Desert Wolf way out in the front, 0.69. So that means for every 100 mass Desert Wolf spent on whatever it was, he was able to convert that into killing 69 mass of something on the opposing team. That is the highest ratio I've ever seen, 0.69. And if we compare that, for instance, down to Bramble, 0.26. And so for every 100 mass this guy's spent, and you know, that includes everything, including Technut reactors, building ion, building factories, whatever. He's only been able to kill 26 mass on the opposing side. And so, fantastic play there. Of course, some of these scores are going to vary depending on which slot you'd expect the air player to invest heavily on technology, and doesn't, you know, killing an ASF isn't always the best mass kill ever, but there's a lot invested in building an air grid like this. Okay, back to full pace then. We'll rearrange our teams accordingly. Let's have also a look at totals. Well, right now, income 1,600 favouring Team 1 per tick versus 1,200 for Team 2. I'm going to imagine that's in large part because there's a base that's missing here, and on the north side, Desert Wolf has his base, and so that would account for that. Yet another massive air engage, and looks like Russo's forcing the air engages here, recognizing if I can prevent my opponent from getting enough ASF together, I'll continuously have air dom. And there we see Bramble thinks, yeah, shit, I gotta go, and is just presenting his 6 to a continuous barrage of missiles coming out there. Russo's firing endless Fox-3 radar-guided missiles towards his opponent, and despite losing a large number of his ASF, is continuing to dominate. Let's have a quick count up here. Minute 32, where it's 150 ASF versus just 43 from the North team. And so, yeah, North team got problems now. South team, well, they're just going from strength to strength, it looks like. The Southern drink is all but in the Southern team's hands. Microchip just continues to play a blinder. Carlitos is looking to exploit some of the out of position ASF there from Russo and picking off ships belonging to Microchip. I assume he'll be going after, and he is. He's going after the battleships. Those are his threat. But Microchip just continues to dump more and more energies on the line and then just reclaim. This dude has watched Blackheart play and he's thought, I'm going to play like Blackheart did and just reclaim for days. Now, potentially, Luke Moss here is going to get a pickup. I think a slight mistake there from Russo, sending so many unescorted frigates by themselves in. And I don't think they got very much done, and it did enable Luke Moss not just to kill them and whittle down the enemy, but of course you've got the vet that comes with it as well as the reclaim field. And so a nice victory there in the battle for Luke Moss. Desert Wolf's ACU over here, what's he going for? Well, he's got the sensor and the range, and that's it for now. Bramble put in what looks like Sam. Yeah, he recognizes his team is down on their luck with regards to air, and so he's littering his base with SAM sites. The problem is, SAM sites versus battleships. It's only ever going to go one way. Look at this. The creeping Tech 1 artillery, and it was something that Desert Wolf was not expecting, and he's throwing shields out and RAS preset SACU to deal with the further spam, and looks like, oh, his further spam is going after the mass point. And with the Asylum shields now finally going down, I think they may just be able to hold it. We do finally have a hub out as well from Desert Wolf and now Restorer. And so that I don't think is going to get any more done. Although as I say that, a couple of battleships belonging to the UEF rolls into the scene. Enter stage, I was going to say left, it's more like enter stage south. 2 UEF battleships. They're going to have a bit of a time punching through those layered Aeon shields. We've got 5 mobile shields, potentially 6, as well as 1 static shield. Although the battleship wipes that aside in about 3 shots. More Asylum's been sent in from Desert Wolf. Is he going to be able to hold? Well, we'll have to see. Huge push from Microchip. Priotius in chat. Apologies, I can't pause. But what I will do is, seeing it is Sunday, we'll find one more cast after this. So if you want to hang around for that one, maybe a one. We'll have to see. But back to the game at hand. Microchip just looking increasingly strong. Desert Wolf has got, I don't think any, oh, he does have a few Asylums there. He's trying to shield Carlitos' main base. Carlitos does have 1 battleship of his own. He does have a huge number of Seraphim destroyers. And with their beam weapons, they never miss. And although I was a little concerned, I think Carl, with a bit of effort, is going to batter his way through. He's got to keep going aggressive. He's got to keep going aggressive. He's got to keep dodging the Cybran shots. He's got to keep zigging and zagging, exploit his beam weapons. And he's tearing through. Look at the cheeky Microchip dropping engineers into the middle of a battle. Just trying to get all the reclaim that he can. He's continuing to send anything and anything that he's got, but Microchip, for the first time in what seems like forever, looks like he's starting to withdraw some of his units. I don't believe it. Carlitos, massive air engage meanwhile, once again, just off to the side. Bremel going after battleships, forces it. And looks like Russo once again, despite the 2 versus 1 now on air. Although Russo is sat on 3 bases, so it's not entirely a fair match. And at this point, Whaler's going to go down. Oh, it's always sad to see. And Bremel just not able to get back into the air game, despite... I want to put a nuke into that. Or a few strat bombs. I don't know. A few strat bombs right there. Maybe this one here. Just let me in and put some strat bombs right there. You already know if you bomb that air grid, this guy is going to fucking scream and insta rage quit. You know it. Because I'd do the same. And what do you know? As Gal would say, shit ain't going the Cybran's way. Of course, he's Seraphim, not Cybran. Mong, I saw the teleporter. He does have the Cybran air grid. You can forgive me for making that mistake. I saw a teleport and the Cybran air grid. That's the excuse. I'm sticking with it. And now Russos assisting. Oh, Carlitos just can't get a break. Just as things were slightly starting to go his way, he gets a massive air attack from Russos. Russos, though, backs away, realizes we've got Restorers, we've got Flax. Desert Wolf is assisting his team no end. These flaks are huge, by the way. Together, they're not necessarily going to kill ASF, but together, they're going to just put so much damage on the swarm of ASF. I actually think flying ASF over flat is more dangerous than flying them over SAM site after you get a certain number, right? One ASF is clearly going to go down to one SAM. But if you have like 1,000 ASF on one SAM site or 1,000 ASF on one flak, the flak is more dangerous at that point. And what looks like Lupus may also be coming out of his hole a little bit. Russo's at risk here of losing the Southern Sea. He's swarming in with his frigates. Now, is this just to get his battleships out? It looks like he just wants to use them at range, which is a legit tactic. Oh, no! No. Balls! A desync minute 38 coming on to 39. I'm going to hit don't let me know anymore, but oftentimes that means what happens now no longer is in line. We do get a nuke out here from Russo. Minute 39. So far, nothing too crazy. Maybe we got away with it. Maybe. Lutmus, fantastic job of holding there. I thought you'd lost for sure. Fantastic job. And the nuke looks like is heading his way. And it looks like the Northern team are finally starting to get some ASF together. Bramall, how many have you got? 188. Russo, what have you got? Well, 310. Okay, incredible job of getting ASF back into the game at all, Bramall. Well, here comes this nuke, and it looks like Lutmos, despite finally getting the initial threat back, it's going to lose it. Although I don't know how many naval, we lost a lot of naval yards here. We still got some here. I don't know. Just depends how much is Russo dumping into Navy. Oh, we got the teleport. Bramall. Oh my goodness. A Seraphim ACU that doesn't have microwave laser teleports in and destroys Russo's air grid. Minute 40. Now Russo recognizes, spams the Tech 1 bombers, but the damage is done. Wow, what a pickup there from Bramall. He needed something. Oh my goodness, count me lucky stars with that desync. I think we got away with it. Just. And that is going to give the players something else to think about. Still got 4 players on the north side. And at this point, Russo's going to be getting so tired. He's having to play for 3 bases. That gives about a third of the attention to each. And any major mistake on any one of them is going to hand his opposing team the advantage. And we could arguably say something like this was a mistake. Moving in there. Luke was just about able to hang on. Granted, a nuke planted right there. And now look at this. The UEF floaty Tech 2 tanks, the Riptides, making landfall on Luke Moss, and again, just tying up the opponent. Nice to see. And for the first time in what feels like all game, Microchip having some enemy units flowing through his rear, and you never want enemy units flowing through your rear. I can tell you that from experience. It is not a nice feeling. But he's continuing to press on the front. Just, I really like this this wall of battleships that is being presented here from Carlitos. Maximum firing efficiency, and it looks like they've only got one target, battleship, and this battleship is eating all of these broadsides as well as all of these Seraphim cruise missiles, and he loses it. Now he does have a couple more battleships back here, and he's now forced to divert stuff over here as well. Microchip for the first time is looking like he's been pulled off center. Oh, look at this. The Tech 3 nukes are firing at enemy spy planes. If Bramall parked these spy planes on top of these mass points, I'm wondering if those would self-damage. Some weapons are self-damaging, some aren't. But often I think tactical missiles, you know, I'm ashamed to say it, but once in a while, in the early days of Supreme Commander, you used to have sometimes like idiots play on your team. And you used to have to build a tactical missile row to basically fire at their commander to kill them in order so that you could have the game. I mean, thankfully, it seems those days are long gone. And in that regard, it is possible to cause your own units injuries with certain weapons. And I'm just wondering if Bramall could have exploited that there. Perhaps somebody could let us know. The Tech 3 strategic missile subs, but using the tactical missile weapon, cause harm to your own units or ally units. Look at what Carly... I don't believe how far he's managed to get these destroyers. He's got them right into the back. And this is where Microchip has got to deal with these, because these are just getting large amounts of damage. Look at this guy here that Carl... He detaches this one destroyer that's heavily damaged. Oh no, and now there's a nuke coming in. Oh dear. Microchip, I feel for you, pal. I feel for you.
Launch detected.
Out comes a nuke from somewhere. And there it is. Strategic missile launcher belonging to Bramall with 0 kills, which is to be expected. Carlitos just continuing to harass Microchip. Microchip, it feels like this guy is getting picked on a bit at the minute. We've got Navy, we've got air, we've got nukes. I think the only guy who isn't picking on him is Luke Moss, and that's because he's trying to stay relevant. And to be fair, he's more than stayed relevant. But here comes this nuke. Looks like Russos recognizes, oh shit, I know where that's going. Let me move my air out the way. And here it comes. Boom. Microchip has got to be feeling that. Basically his most important navy yards just went up. He does have another one over here, but that is going to struggle to make anything now. And look at this, he pauses everything. Microchip. And what's he doing? He's paused everything. Oh, what's that in aid of? I don't know. Let's have a quick glance. How many kills did that get now? 95. Granted, most of those will have been engineers, but importantly here, these naval yards and the build capacity of those engineers is what was keeping Microchip at least somewhat in this battle. And at this point, it's feeling a little dicey. Now, could these paused engineers be as a result of the desync? I don't know, because it seems unlikely that a player is just going to pause everything that they do when a nuke connects. And so if it is a desync that earlier on that is causing this, apologies. Russos. How goes it? 250. Bramall. 420. And I am going to speed things up a little bit because it's starting to feel a little bit like whatever this game was is going a little bit P-tong. Alright, we're starting to get some cohesion here. Maybe not entirely. But looks like air has been comprehensively handed over there. No, actually, I think I was maybe preemptive with that decision. Only people who are really going to know are in the game. But once again, it seems like Russo is determined to knock Lucas out of the drink. Lucas playing really, really well for an 1100 at this point versus an 1800 and an 1800 that's sat on 3 bases. And he's doing, I hate to see that, well, I like to see weaker players exploiting this kind of thing. I hate to see stronger players coming foul to this. He does finally have a Cooper in the region, but I guess that Cooper is going to get primaried. And it does. I mean, Cooper is perfect counter to these sort of things, but it looks like this is just rearranging the deck chairs on a sinking Titanic. I think this is going to go Russos' way at this point. I mean, I would have said that like 15 minutes ago, but now it's really looking like it. Although at the same time, Carlitos is winning up top. It just feels, with Air having gone over to the North team, and we've seen Brammel's ability to just knock out Air at ever increasing rates. And again, did this just not get rebuilt, or is this part of some sort of a desync? I'm not sure. You could say that Russo don't have the APM to deal with it, and, you know, granted, maybe he doesn't. But it just doesn't feel like the same 1800 is playing that was playing before we had that message. And it looks like Brammel agrees and moves in and attacks. And this time, I think Brammel's got the numbers. He can no longer defend Microchip. Carlitos is at this point steamrolling Micro, and looks like Micro's just nothing he can do about it now. And so with that, the Northern Drink as well as Air goes over to Team 1 in quite quick succession. Team 2 still retain control in the Southern Pond, but what's that? GC nearly done, says Desert Wolf. Luke Moss says nice. And at this point, what have Team 2 got to hit back at the GC? I mean, SACUs are getting picked off deep inside Team 2's base. We've got whalers all over the shop. And Microchip, well, he's trying to make these RAS presets, but I mean, I think he's too busy tied up and trying to defend. But this is only going one way. There's no way you can come back from this. Not unless a miracle comes of it. So let's speed up time. I think we can see where this one is going to go. I would not normally speed up time. Oh, that's like my... Can only handle up to a level 2.
Strategic launch detected.
But subsequent to the desync, I can't be guaranteed that this is what really happens. And it isn't looking like Russos is doing what you'd expect anymore. So I'm going to guess there is a bit of a desync here. Microchip battered out. In comes another nuke, and that's going to take out... I say it's gonna. It gets shot down just... This SACU brass preset factory. Don't know what else to call it. And now we're getting what looks like Scathis fire raining down from the top team. And if that don't make Russo feel like quitting, I don't know what will. Because he's lost air. He's lost his northern side. He's got the enemies pouring through the middle. Yeah, he's got the south drink, but what's that worth? Unless, of course, you've got a million RAS preset ACUs in the bottom like that most epic of Setons games that I casted on the channel about a week ago. Oh my goodness. 1 hour 45 and some. Yeah. Look at how many bombers get shot out of the sky there. Well, I think I did okay in Navy, all things considered, says Microchip. And so now we know, despite any desync that may have been, this indeed is legit way it went. Microchip, you did more than okay. You are man of the match. No doubt about it. The 1100 rated Team 2 player on the rock position. Microchip, I'm giving you it. And a very honourable mention, Russo, the 1800 versus the 1900 at Bramall, who, let's be honest, had air dominance for 90% of that game. It fell apart in the last few minutes, and with this, Russo capitulates, and I don't see why not. And Microchip, I imagine, is going to do the same. Surely you're not going to eke this out. It's just, I mean, if he can pick off one commander, you know, we said this before, if he can pick off one commander somehow on the opposing team, it's worth $1 million. You know, you've lost on all fronts. Alpha through Zulu, every front is down. It's Germany, May the 3rd, 1945. It's all lost, but you're able to pick off one of your opposing countries. It's a victory, despite everything else being lost. And it doesn't look like Microchip is... at least he's not hitting the Control K yet. Come on, pal. I mean, it looks like he's AFK. Holding... Right, one easy way. I say easy way. Hold shift. Yeah, I'm not seeing any orders coming from anywhere. And so what I'm going to do, guys, is call this game. Clearly, Team 1 walk away as the victors as we approach the 53rd minute. Microchip is now starting stealth. But again, all that it's doing is going to delay the inevitable. Very well played, everybody. And yet, Microchip, despite your shenanigans here at the end, you are man of the match. Enjoyed that one very much. So what I'm going to do, I am going to end this cast, but I will be starting another one shortly when we go and look for another game. Until then, guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. And if you don't see the next game, I'll see you again. Take care. Bye-bye.